This is the MMA guy. This is my recap for the UFC 321 Aspinall versus Gane card. We'll just start with the main event. Very tragic ending. No contest. Um, you know, this was one of those. But when you look at that first round, I thought Aspinall was not that impressive when he fought full size heavyweight. Like I'm not gonna. This sounds crazy to say because as like Cyril Gane, comparatively to his division, is definitely an impressive fighter, and he was doing good. I don't necessarily think he was gonna lose to Cyril Gane after seeing that first round, but this wasn't the same. Like there was such a big difference between Cyril Gane and a guy like Tybura or Sergey Spivak or those kind of guys that kind of puts things in perspective now. Maybe and just maybe we've been overrating this guy. With that being said, I think Tom Aspinall. I hope they book the rematch soon, and yeah, we'll just have to see how this goes. This sucks. This was a big eye poke though. There was like when you see it on the camera, it like stays in the eye and keeps going forward for like a whole second. That was a crazy eye poke. So I don't think he was faking or anything. But yeah, tragic ending. Next, we have Verna Jandiroba versus Mackenzie Dern. Now, my stream was not working all that well during that fight. I can't lie to you. I thought that Verna got the first 3 rounds. Strikes, takedown. Like if you look at this, should be clearly a Verna round. If you look at this, 14 to 18, 2 takedowns. We don't have the control time, but she had significant control time with top control and active top control. I thought she won that round as well. Third round, got 2 takedowns, 14 to 18, 38 to 52. Yeah, it depends. Honestly, I would have given it to her as well. Then that's where I thought starts. But even then, she got outstruck. They both got a takedown. I have to look at control time. I thought Mackenzie Dern looked better in that round than Verna, and she finished harder. If you look at this one, yeah, that could be another Mackenzie Dern round. So I thought it was 3-2 Verna, but whatever. I knew that they would give it to Mackenzie Dern, and she's younger and more marketable. Not that it excuses it in any way, but one of those things. Yeah, not mad at it. Good job for Mackenzie Dern for winning a title. And then we just have to hope that Whaley beats Valentina Shevchenko, because if she doesn't, then like if Whaley goes back to 115, she's going to take out Mackenzie Dern so easily. This is going to be the easiest fight of her life. Anyhow, next fight, my favorite fight of the night. I thought that delivered. That was a great fight. Umar Nurmagomedov against Mario Bautista. We have a knockdown here. Did they? Yeah, they did score the knockdown. Nasty. That's good. They rarely do. Mario Bautista landed a knockdown against Umar. Made him look human. He looked good in that fight. But he did get 30-27 the way I said he would. And he really did. He really did. No one... I saw at a certain point in the second round, they were like, oh yeah, man, this should have been a Mario Bautista round. Second round. Well, he landed a knockdown. He got outstriked 2-1, and he got taken down twice. And Umar, granted, wasn't doing crazy stuff with the takedown, but he was getting dominant positions after dominant positions, and he was always active. He was never, stalling on the ground. Never that. Nasty performance. This 7 takedowns in that round. You know, I thought Umar looked good. I think Umar, if he can make his ability to get the fight down more final in the sense that he's able to garner better control once he's on the ground, I think he's gonna be the best. He can become the best bantamweight of all time. I really think so. I think if when he takes someone down, they're not able to get up like they were. Like Corey Sandhagen was able to get up, and we kind of gave it as a, oh yeah, but Corey's defensive grappling is phenomenal. And granted, same thing for Bautista, who has also great defensive grappling. But I mean, Peter Yan has fantastic defensive grappling, and Aljo spent round on him as a backpack and doing damage as well at certain point. Sometimes he was stalling a little bit, but still, we have that. I think Umar needs to get better. I think getting body triangles when he's on the back, like aiming for the body triangle right away, something like that. I don't know what he can add to his game, but yeah. Though Bautista is a great bantamweight. He's on an 8-fight win streak, and he got completely dominated by Umar. You know, this round one, 4 strike to 1, 2 takedown, 1 sub attempt, five significant strikes. Kind of crazy though. Damn, that's not good at all compared to total strike. And then we have let's just look at. Okay. Yeah, when you look at it like that, this is a close round, but still, I don't think he won that because it was more so a flash round. Landed a great strike, but Umar got back up right away and kept winning the round, and so I think this is it. Now, that was my favorite fight of the night. I thought that was good. Next, we have Volkov versus Jelton Almeida. I didn't pick this way. Some people were mad at the decision, but I don't hate it. Look at the difference in total strike. Look at the different significant strike. Damn, that's not good. I just thought that does. Jelton is so bad as a. Damn. What do they count as a significant strike? I feel like these strikes count are so weird. I thought Jelton definitely won the second round, for sure. No doubt, but first and third, I thought could argue for Volkov. And Jelton Almeida in that third round, he did absolutely nothing. When he's fighting this level of opposition, I feel like he straight up does not even try to attempt submissions. This is embarrassing. I think I'm happy that they gave it to Volkov, and I think that they should because Jelton Almeida does nothing. He gets these position and he lays, and he stays there. He has good athleticism, but then he doesn't try to impose his will. Doesn't try to finish fight. Meanwhile, when he's fighting fodder competition, he just runs through them and finish them in one round. Even Spivak, who's not crazy low level competition, he's a good by heavyweight standard. He did go for the finish, and he was even like at a certain point, if I remember correctly, in the first round, I think he was in a precarious position, and he was able to get out of it and end up winning the fight. Why does he do that when he's fighting a guy like Curtis Blade? He just goes for a takedown, no sub attempt, tries to control. When he fights a guy like Derek Lewis, when he fights a guy like Volkov, it's like, God damn. Try to go with the submission. This is the only reason people think you would even have a chance against a guy like Aspinall. And the crazy thing is that Aspinall didn't look impressive, but the way you were looking tonight at Jelton Almeida, if he racks up like a 3-fight win streak and they just give him the shot, he's going to get flatlined in one because he's not a guy that gets. He tries to work these takedowns, someone's going to defend, Aspinall, boom, boom, 1-2 down the pipe, out cold. He's not Cyril Gane on the feet. I think Cyril Gane would destroy Jelton Almeida as well. Jelton Almeida is a tier below. I think they need to book that Jelton Almeida versus Curtis Blade rematch. I think that's what they need to do. Show us something different. If you don't, we're removing you from the title picture until you rack up at least 4 to 5 wins. And if there's a decision where there is zero sub attempt from you and you took the fight to the ground, we're removing you from the roster. That's what the UFC should do, to be honest, because this is embarrassing. This guy's a lay and pray fighter when he's at the top, fighting the cream of the crop. Embarrassing performance by Jelton Almeida. Volkov winning in a similar way that he lost to Gane, but you know these things happen. Next we have Rakic versus Mirzakhanov. That was a good pick by me because okay, so there was a knockout but no strikes. That's an interesting thing. To be honest, Mirzakhanov absolutely beat Rakic. I thought Rakic, when he was going with them kicks at first, and the way that Mirzakhanov was reacting to them, I was like, okay, this might be different. This might be the next level where he's not going to be able to win that fight. And then with a step in jab, put him out cold. Or like not out cold, but he put him out. Like he didn't even have to do strikes after that. The ref just called it out off a jab. Mirzakhanov has crazy power. Because we're talking about Rakic, who, you know, the got TKO'd by Yuri, but it was like an active TKO. Azamat Mirzakhanov put him out. I want to see. Well, I'll go over a matchup after this. Now I'll just do the breakdown for now. Next, we have Nasrat Akbaras versus Quillan Saltkield. I'm not going to lie to you. I thought that Nasrat Akbaras was going to run through Quillan Saltkield. I thought he would volume strike on him and TKO him in the second or third. And he was going. That's what the visual was early. Oh, the wrestling doesn't work. Gets head kicked. All these boxing guys that are not absolute cream of the crop, like even a guy like Ilya Topuria, his weakness, head kicks. Nasrat Akbaras is his problem, head kicks. I think Ribovic is probably going to have that. I don't remember his fight against Zeluber, but that probably caught him or something. I know all of these boxing fighters, and that's my favorite style of boxers. That's the fighters where I'm like, I think he's going to take this. And I felt confident. And they get head kicked. Like Nasrat Akbaras getting head kicked. I think Ilya Topuria has the same problem. I mean, we've seen it against Jai Herbert, but that's so easy to say, oh yeah, well, everyone has seen. That's the only knockdown that he's ever gotten. Obviously, everyone points back to that moment. That's not a genius breakdown by me at all. But still, I think that's the way. If someone's going to beat him, it's going to be that way. And damn, Nasrat Akbaras got good hands, so that was, and he has a good chin as well. He's a very complete fighter. That was like one of those head kick. Oh man, I didn't like that. Well, I mean, it was a beautiful head kick. I just thought that, well, I wanted to see Akbaras win because I felt like he was disrespected with Diaz, but I guess not. Next, we have Ikram Aliskerov versus Junghyun Park. That was a cool fight. I mean, Ikram just showing, I think, that he's ready for a ranking fight, to be honest. He looked good in that fight. That was close. Damn, got outstruck 2 of those rounds, but he did land takedowns, so you know, got that fight 30-27. Way it should have been. I thought that was a good fight for sure, and I'll talk about what I want for Ikram next because I'll do matchups for everyone, and I'll also do how I did on picks. Now we have Ludovic Klein versus Matthias Rebecki. That was a very good fight. Ludovic Klein got the first 2 rounds, but and he did. He should have. But that last round was brutal for him. Rebecki almost could have finished him. At a certain point, he landed a ground and pound shot, and he stopped throwing ground and pound. But Ludovic Klein had no reaction, had no defense if he had following ground and pound shots. I don't know why he didn't continue. Maybe was completely out of gas as well, which fair enough. But that was such a close fight. That was lovely. Mateusz Rumbeczki, always in a war. And I just thought Ludovic Klein was slicker, and he was. And in a three rounder, you don't have much time to bring the war to someone, you know. In those five rounders, and Mateusz Rumbeczki, what's gonna be his biggest problem in the next couple fights? I think it's because his scar tissue is starting to become a problem. He's opening up so easy. So when he's fighting these slick fighters in the rankings, you know, if you fight a guy like Fiziev or someone like that, even outside the rankings, when he's fighting these top guys, because he's like right outside the rankings. If Mateusz Rumbeczki goes on a two-fight win streak, he's definitely fighting for a ranking spot after that, you know? So this is the thing. And Ludovic Klein's right outside them rankings. He's definitely going to be challenging for a ranking spot next. So we'll see. We'll see how that goes. Next, we have Walter Walker versus Louis Sutherland. Why is it not loading, man? It's embarrassing. UFC, come on. Okay. All right. Well, that fight was a very easy Walter Walker win. Louis Sutherland threw that big old shot. Walter Walker dipped, dropped for the legs, got a nail hook. People are, all of these heavyweights, I feel like this proves that these heavyweights are NPC. Why? How are you fighting Walter Walker, who's on a 3-fight winning streak by a heel hook, and have zero heel hook defense? This shows that this isn't 135. At 135, bottom of the barrel, 135, this is not happening. This could never be happening, first off. Because these guys have at least a little bit of heel hook defense. At least. And the second thing is that these, like, heavyweights are not, they're not, like, preparing for a fight against a specific fighter, it feels like. It feels like they're fighting, oh yeah, man, I'll do what I do good. I'll try to throw them big shots. And if that doesn't get them the win, they're not going to win. They are not real fighters. They're not. There's never been a heavyweight, and there will never be a heavyweight in history. And I don't want to hear, oh man, Cain Velasquez, man, or Stipe Miocic, that has the skill level of an Umar Nurmagomedov or something like that. Walter Walker is a problem for this division. He's going to keep taking these guys out, and he's getting 4-fight heel hook streak. This is something that could only happen in the heavyweight division, but this is such a good feat. I mean, I'm big on that. I'm big on Walter Walker. I think he's in phenomenal shape. He's a big heavyweight, good grappling. I think he's going to have a problem when he goes to those fast heavyweight like Gane, Aspinall, Volkov, maybe Volkov. But even Volkov, the way that he performed today, I think that Walter Walker could potentially beat him. You know, I think Walter Walker needs a significant step up in competition, but it seems like he just wants to fight these low-level heavyweights because he called out Andy earlier. So I guess we'll have to see that. Okay, I don't know what's happening here. Let me see. I'll just restart the page. Okay. There's a problem with the Nathaniel Wood versus Delgado fight. Nathaniel Wood won the fight. That was a very close fight. I picked Delgado, but I thought I wanted Nathaniel Wood to win so bad. I just didn't think he would. And he did, so that's a very good win for him. In a close fight. That was a good fight. He's in his prime right now. I'd love to see him challenge for a ranking spot. So we'll just have to see what's next for him. Great fight. He's a very technical fighter. Jose Delgado did good. He did very good. Damn, why can't I see this? This is very annoying. Okay. Are we gonna see it here? Nah. Okay, we don't have it here either. Okay, well, good fight. I'm not gonna give you guys more of this stuff. So just go back to the next matchup. Amdi Abdelwahab versus Chris Barnett. I knew Amdi would beat him. I mean, Chris Barnett is the worst. It might be the worst heavyweight on the roster, and that's very telling. Like, you look at Chris Barnett, and he's a guy where you're like, you put him a low tier heavyweight. You put him like against a Mohamed Usman who popped. So Mohamed Usman, we hope he's out of the UFC. This guy's a bottom of the barrel heavyweight that popped for steroid. That's a very big problem. But Amdi Abdel Wahab, like, dog walking you is crazy. Like, look at those strikes. Look at those significant strikes. And look at those takedown per round. Like, Chris Barnett needs to retire. Unless he's fighting for a paycheck, which, fair enough, the UFC can keep him around because he's like, hey, let's go, man, because he talks during these weigh-ins and stuff. But honestly, this is not the type of competition we should have in the UFC. It's embarrassing to have this guy on the roster. To have a guy like Chris Barnett, who is getting dog-walked by Amdi Abdel Wahab, who's a low-level fighter for your organization, and to have Chris Barnett be in the organization and fight at heavyweight, nah, this is embarrassing. Send him to PFL, please. Next, Azat Maxim versus Mitch Raposo. I thought that Azat Maxim would win this fight, no problem. But I guess not. Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I didn't catch this fight. So as far as I can go, but look like he got outstruck here. 3 takedowns. What did he do with those takedowns? I don't know. 3 to 9 significant strikes. So okay, third round was probably clearly a Mitch Raposo round. The grappling was scored weird in this card. I don't mind. I'm not gonna lie. I thought that was weird. But Azat Maxim, I thought he was gonna be up next. I really thought he had great potential because of the level of competition he's lost to. He's lost to phenomenal fighters only. Talking about Tagir Ulanbekov and Charles Johnson. But I guess not. And Mizuki pulling off the... Look at those underdog picks at first. Minus 425, lost to Mizuki. And then minus 380, lost. Imagine you had parlayed Mizuki and Mitch Raposo. No one in their right mind would have done that, but, you know, crazy fight. I didn't catch those 2 fights. I can't lie, I was working, so one of those things. So I'll see how I did on picks. So this pick is removed. I had, so 0 and 1, 1 and 1, 1 and 2, 2 and 2, 2 and 3, 3 and 3, 4 and 3, 5 and 3, 5 and 4, 6 and 4, 6 and 5, 6 and 6. Yeah, we went half on picks, but to be fair, I know you could be hating on this. You could be hating on this, but this was a very big underdog card. So Volkov pulled it off. Quillen Salkit, well, Quillen Salkit wasn't an underdog, but then we have Nathaniel Wood. I could have picked Nathaniel Wood, you know. And then those two flipped me up, I'm not gonna lie. Because I'd be 8 and 4 if those two just lost, and they're huge underdog. Like, this happening is so that was not supposed to happen. But anyhow, I'm not salty. 6 and 6. It's still 50%. It's whatever. I picked a lot of underdogs, to be fair. Next, what do I want to see next for these fighters? So for Cyril Gane and Tom Aspinall, I want to see it being rebooked and ASAP, please. These are heavyweights. They don't cut weight. Rebook it next week, man. Like, honestly, not next week, but rebook. They should rebook it in like a month. had it to the 323 card. Can you imagine? Tom Aspinall, Cyril Gane headlining Peter Yan uh, versus Marab and Pantoja versus Van triple champ card. That would be insane. And these guys don't cut weight, like I said. And it's almost in 2 months. They should do that. That would be... The UFC would do crazy with that, but I don't think they will. I don't think they'll do that. Anyhow, next we have Verna Jandiroba. What do I want to see for next? God damn, these WMMA matchups, huh? Honestly, I don't mind it. I don't mind whatever they got at strawweight. Another ranking fight. Mackenzie Dern. Maker fight. The more deserving challenger. If Whaley loses, Maker fight Whaley for the 115 strap. Umar Nurmagomedov next. You know, they're saying that they want Umar versus and Dagestani pool, obviously, but they want him to fight the next the Marab versus Peter Yan winner. I want to see him fight the loser, because I think it's probably going to be Peter Yan, and I want to see Umar versus Peter Yan. That's the matchup I want to see. So if Peter Yan wins, give Umar a title shot. If he loses, give him the Peter Yan fight. Either way, give him the Peter Yan fight. So it depends on the performance of Yan. There's that. For Mario Bautista, what do I want to see next? Mario Bautista is not ranked that high in the division. He's number 8, I think, 7, 8. And he did okay. He did pretty okay against Umar. They could give him the Zahabi fight. But to be fair, I think if Zahabi, because Zahabi is on a crazy win streak right now in the rankings. So if Zahabi wins his next fight, they should give him a title shot. So I don't think it's fair to give Mario Bautista that shot. I would go do Mario Bautista. I think his stock kind of rose or stayed the same in that fight. And no one thought it was going to beat Umar. Do the Cheeto? You can do a Cheeto matchup. He's a little bit of a... He's the kind of fighter that I can see Cheeto, but I think he's going to beat Cheeto. Who else can you do? Can do Rob Font, but Rob Font just lost to a UFC debutant. It's not good. Can do Mario Bautista versus that new guy that just got in the ranking of his debut, beating Font. But Font's 38. I think you can do Song Yadong versus Mario Bautista. He's fighting up the rankings again. I think you could do that, to be honest. I think that would be cool. That would be a cool fight. Did knock down Umar, but I don't think he beat Song Yadong. I think he's going to get dismantled worse stylistically. I don't think that's a good fight for him. I'm not mad at a matchup down the rankings for him. Maybe the Dan Martinez or like Vinicius Oliveira or someone like that. But I also don't mind. I actually would go for that. Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira. I think that's perfect. Because he did lose that fight. And so when you lose a fight as a ranked fighter, you shouldn't fight up the rankings again. Unless like a very close split decision, something crazy like that. When it's like that, 30-27, you've lost. I think you fight down the rankings. I cannot fight that order. So Mario Bautista versus Vinicius Oliveira next. That's a good fight. Alexander Volkov versus Jelton Almeida. Alexander Volkov. What do I see for him next? Gane and Aspinall are not available. You can make him wait for the winner of that fight and get a title shot, to be honest. He's bigger than he was when he fought Tom Aspinall the first time. He gained size since then. Maybe that's going to help him in the grappling. Maybe he's not going to get dismantled the same way. Either that or you do Curtis Blade too, but I kind of want to see Gelton Almeida versus Curtis Blades too. So yeah, I'm gonna go Volkov next title shot because he was robbed against Gane, and he'd be on a crazy win streak if he wasn't. And Gelton Almeida, give him Curtis Blade too to get have him right there still. But if he loses that fight, then you make him fight down a lot. So that would be how I'd go about this. Alexander Rakic. To be honest, Rakic has been very unimpressive recently. He's on a crazy losing streak right now. And he's still ranked number 7 in the division. I think you have to make him fight way down the rankings. Who do you give to Rakic? You could do Rakic versus Dominic Reyes. Or actually, Rakic versus Khalil Roundtree. I think that makes sense. I think that fight makes sense. Because I don't think Khalil has proven himself at that level yet. Which is crazy to say, but what I want to say is I don't think he has a win at that level yet. Even though he's proven himself like to be a tough out against very good level of competition. Rakic has kind of done similar. You know, like he's lost to Magomed, he got finished by Yuri, Khalil also got finished by Yuri. You can do that fight. You can do that fight. I think that makes sense. Yeah, so Rakic, I would give him a Khalil fight. Azamat Mirzakhanov, now it's time to give him a top 5 fight. Give him number 1 contender, either Carl Solberg or Yuri. One of those two. One of those two. And I would prefer to fight with Yuri. I don't think he does very good against... I think Carlos Solberg beats... No, actually, I want to see the Carlos Solberg fight. Azamat Mirzakhanov versus Carlos Solberg. This is the fight I want. Next, Nasrat Akparas. What do I see for him next? To be honest, give him a grappling matchup. Don't give him a guy that's gonna strike with him crazy. Off a loss outside the rankings. He's definitely not fighting in the rankings. Nasrat Akparas. What do you do for him next? Losing. That was a bad loss. That was a very, very bad loss. Love to see him take a break and come back fight. I think you can do a Daniel Zaluber fight. I said a grappler, and that's definitely not a grappler, but because if you think about it, went close with Ribovich, who went close with Zaluber, so they're kind of like the similar tier. They're both coming off a loss, one a bad loss to an old Michael Johnson, and Nasrat bad loss to a UFC not debutant but 2-0 in the UFC against low level competition against a guy, an fairly untested guy in the UFC. Just let's keep one of those two guys a stock eye and the other one, low level UFC buddy. Next, Quillian Salkild. What do I see for Quillian Salkild? I think you've put him against a guy that's right outside the top 15, who's like a very good fighter in that division. Tapology had him ranked, I think, number 21, so he's close to that top 15 spot, Quillian Salkild, you can do a matchup next. Drew Dober's off a win. You could make him fight Drew Dober. You can make him fight the loser of Grant Dawson and Manuel Torres. I think that works as well. I think that would be cool. But he's getting pushed really early. But that was a big matchup for him. I think that makes sense. Loser of Manuel Torres versus Grant Dawson. And then a ranking fight. Next we have Ikram Aliskerov versus Jung-Hyun Park. Ikram Aliskerov, I see him fighting in the rankings next. Who do I see for him though? Make him fight Dolidze. I think that makes sense. Dolidze coming off a bad loss. Ikram Aliskerov coming off a good win. But he did Jung-Hyun Park, Good fighter. Gave him some trouble. So there's that. For Jungyun Park, loser of Gregory Rodriguez versus Roman Kopylov. I think that makes sense for him. That would be a cool fight. Whoever it is. But he'd already lost to Robocup. So only if Kopylov loses. And I do see Kopylov losing that fight. So there's that. Now, another cool fight. Rebecki versus Ludovic Klein. That was very good. Ludovic Klein, who do I see next for him? Ludovic Klein needs to fight in the rankings. I'd like him to fight. I know that they fraudulently, and I say this right, like objectively fraudulently, gave Mauricio Rufy the number 15 spot, which should be an outrage. I mean, you have guys like Manuel Torres, you have guys out there like Ferez Ziam and stuff like that are outside. But since you've given that spot, I think a Ludovic Klein matchup makes sense. I think that's a phenomenal fight. That could be a fight night main event. That wouldn't be one I'd be necessarily tuning into, but that would be a cool fight. Next, Rebecki. What do I see for him next? I think they need to stop giving Rebecki tough out matchups, but at the same time, every time he fights someone good, he ends up all bloodied and stuff. Give Rebecki a break. Who do I see for him? That's a good one. Give Rebecki. Who do you give Rebecki? Give him an easy fight that a guy that he's gonna run through. I think you give him Kyle Nelson. Kyle Nelson coming off a win against Matt Frivola, going up a little bit of a tier in fighting. Go fight Rebecki. I think that's a good fight. They're both tough, but I think Rebecki's much better. Anyhow, we have Walter Walker next. What do I see for Walter Walker? That heavyweight division, man, it's no good. With that being said, I think Walter Walker doesn't have much of a threat on the feet. He's a good grappler. I like to see him fight a guy like Sergey Spivak. I think that's a fight that makes sense for him, but he called out Amdi, so I guess Amdi next, and then maybe get in the rankings and beat someone. So Walter Walker versus Amdi is the next fight that I see. Louis Sutherland, make him fight anyone, man. I don't care. Any like Lucas Brechke or one of those low tier heavyweight. For Nathaniel Wood at 45. Give him a ranking fight. Give him Josh Emmett. Give him Josh Emmett. That's a perfect fight. I see him beating the dog water out of Josh Emmett, by the way. For Jose Delgado, back to the drawing board. Give him a good opponent at 45. That's not crazy. You understand? Brito. Give him Brito. That's a perfect fight. I like that fight. Jose Miguel Delgado versus Yonderson Brito. That's a perfect fight. Next, we have Amdi Abdelwahab. Give him Walter Walker next. Chris Barnett. Get him out the UFC. Azat Maxim. Kick him out the UFC. He's 3-0. He's 0-3. And he's lost to Mitch Raposo, who was 0-2 in the UFC. And he was a minus 380 favorite. Get this guy out the UFC. Mitch Raposo. Oh, man. This is not good. I mean, I haven't seen the fight, to be fair, but hey, if he did good against Azat Maxim, can give him a fight against that guy. What's his name? Loner Kavanagh. Loner Kavanagh comeback fight against Mitch Raposo, coming off a good win against Azat Maxim. You know, that could be good. Could be a good fight. Next we have Jacqueline Amorim versus Mizuki. Uh, Jacqueline Amorim. Oh, I don't know the fighters in the women's strawweight division. I can't lie. Just yeah, just make her fight. Though Jacqueline Amorim was on a crazy streak, so that's a very good win by her. I think you can give Mizuki a ranking spot. I think make her fight like a in the ranking. Whoever's ranked number 15 or 14 in that division, make her fight in the ranking. Jacqueline Amorim, make her fight outside the rankings. If she shows that she's good, gets on a 2 fight win streak, make her fight back in the rankings. That would be my diagnosis for this whole thing. So this was what I got. Thank you for listening to the rambling. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. We got a lot of videos coming soon. I got I got content coming every single day. Always posting. And we just got past 1,000 views today. So thank you for that, guys. And until next time.